And we are live. Let me see. Got it. Okay. Let me just check what's going on. Hello, hello, Facebook. I'm just checking if my internet is horrible. Hello, Facebook. Hello, everybody. Can you see me? Can you hear me? If you can, please give me a thumbs up. Just trying to get my internet sorted. Ladies, can you hear me?
Yes,
we can.
My internet is a mess here. Oh yeah, it's still booting. Oh yeah, there it goes. Yeah, I think let me just see what's happening over there. Okay. It's a bit slow, but we're going to carry on. It will take chat. So hello, Facebook. Thank you so much for joining us. Today is a very special day because I've got two beautiful ladies with me. I will be talking about diabetes. I did do the event for flyer out since last week. And yeah, today is the day. So thank you so much for joining. What we're going to do, we're going to just share. I'm going to share the link out. So if you're watching, please help us share this video so that more people can join us, because this is a very important topic. Diabetes is a very important topic that a lot of us need to be aware of, because, you know, we know people who are diabetic. We are at risk of diabetes as well. As we grow older, it's just one of the process of aging. No, obviously not everybody will have diabetes, but as you grow older, your risk of having diabetes increases. So that's why we're doing this, just to raise more awareness. So bear with me, please, as we are trying to share the video so more people can know and join us and be aware of this very important topic. My internet is a bit tricky. I hope everybody can see me. I hope everybody can hear me. If you are there, I'm just going to check Facebook. If you are there, please give me a thumbs up. If the line is clear, just give me a thumbs up and just let me know, because I'm watching on Facebook. I just need to know that people are there. It's very slow. If you are there, just give me a thumbs up. Anyway, we just carry on because I'm trying to like get reaction. Thank you so much for joining. Please like this video, please share. Yeah, today I'm here. I'm going to share my screen so we can get started. So I'm sharing my screen now. Can you see my screen? If you can see my screen, give me a thumbs up, please. Yeah. You can see my screen, and please share, ladies, please share. You could copy your link and share on your WhatsApp status, on your WhatsApp, to your WhatsApp contacts, and you can share on Facebook as well, just to get more people in. Hello, Lisa. Lisa has joined us. Thank you so much for joining, Lisa. We really appreciate your support. So I'm going to do the slideshow now. And like I said, it's a bit slow. The internet is acting up. So hello again. Welcome to Divinely Classic page. And here we do all things health and fitness. We share our meals. We share our workouts, and we just give basically general healthy living tips to people. And we do health education as well, which is what we have here, what we're going to do here today. And we also sell customized fitness apparel. If you look at the top of the page, we do have things that we sell, you know. So but today we're not going to sell anything. We're actually going to educate the public about diabetes. So my friends will be, and I will be talking about it. My name is Ewine, and my friend is...
I'm Lillian.
And I'm
Is it
Latifa.
frozen? Lillian, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Yeah, Lillian. Sorry, I think my internet is horrible. And
I'm here, Latifa.
Latifa? Oh, my internet is breaking up. My internet is a right mess today. I'm not sure why. Ladies, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yeah.
Yes, my internet is unstable. Can you hear me now?
Yeah. I don't know if you're asking us or the Facebook fans.
I'm asking you girls, Lillian and Latifa,
Yes.
can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh, good. Good. My internet is it's just horrible today. Well, anyway, we'll just carry on. So yeah, just a quick introduction to say today's topic, like we said earlier, is on diabetes and its effect on the human body. And what we're going to do, this point of us having this session is to raise awareness about diabetes. And we are no experts in this area. We're not diabetes specialists. No, we are just like the average ladies next door, but we're passionate about health education and promotion. And this session on its own, it's like a mandate from NICE or NHS, where healthcare professionals to make every contact count. What that means is that as healthcare professionals, you are supposed to utilize every opportunity that you have with people just to encourage them to develop healthier lifestyle choices, encourage them to change their behavior that will promote their health and their well-being. That's according to NICE 2022. So we will be talking about what the table of content, the topics that we, or rather the area that we're going to cover today is what is diabetes. We will define what diabetes is, and then different types of diabetes. And then we'll share some statistics. We'll talk about the symptoms of undiagnosed diabetes, and then the risk factors, and then management, and there are other bits and bobs that we'll add along the way. And at this point, I would like to say that diabetes is such a wide topic, is such a broad topic that we can't cover every aspect of diabetes today, but we'll try as much as possible to like cover what we can. And if you have any questions, please drop it in the chat box. Just drop your comments, drop your questions, and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. So like I said earlier, it's my ladies and I that will be discussing, and we're taking it slide to slide. I have Lillian with me, and I have Latifa. So thank you so much for joining on Facebook. We really do appreciate you joining us, and please share this video. So I'm going to start with the first slide. Okay, we're going to talk about what diabetes is. So what is diabetes? Diabetes is a chronic condition. When we say chronic, that means it's a long-term condition. And this is characterized by high blood sugar, and that is also called hyperglycemia. And if you break that hyperglycemia down, you see that hyper means something that is very high, and then that's glucose, and then emia, it's like blood, so high blood glucose. So as we go along, we use the term sugar and glucose interchangeably because basically they mean the same thing. And more on diabetes. So what it means is that there is an absolute deficiency. When you say absolute deficiency, that means the pancreas, which is responsible for secreting insulin, does not produce insulin, okay, and or resistance to insulin. So diabetes means that it's either there is no production of insulin at all, or the body has grown some resistance to insulin. So basically at this point you ask, okay, what is insulin? Insulin is a hormone that is secreted by the pancreas. And this is secreted to regulate blood glucose when there is a spike in the blood. So this is only secreted when there is a spike in the blood. So when we eat, food, we have sugar or glucose. So at that point, the insulin is secreted to let that glucose get into our cells to be used for aerobic respiration, okay? And then the insulin is also responsible for the storage of fats in our body. And then there's another hormone in this whole business of diabetes. It's called glucagon, and that's the opposite of insulin. And what this glucagon does is that it is secreted when there's a decrease in blood glucose. Okay, so it sends a message to the liver to release glucose into the bloodstream. But because we are talking about high blood glucose today, we're going to be concentrating on insulin. And insulin is, in almost all the slides, you will hear us talk about insulin, okay? And I've just got a diagram there. And basically this diagram just shows, this is our stomach, yeah, when we've eaten. You have your food, whatever food you eat, you have the stomach through some reactions, changes that food into glucose, okay? And that glucose gets into the bloodstream. This green stuff here, they are the glucose, it gets into the bloodstream, and then we need this glucose to go into our cells for cellular function. That's where insulin comes in. This is our pancreas. If the pancreas releases the insulin, then the glucose is able to enter the cell to be used for cell function. However, if there is no secretion of insulin, like we said earlier, or there's an absolute deficiency to insulin, then these cells cannot open. Little or no insulin enters the bloodstream. That would cause a glucose buildup in the blood, and that is what is called hyperglycemia, okay? I'll go to the next slide now. And as we go on, my ladies and I will take in the slide turn by turn. So I don't know if the next one is my slide. Oh yeah, this is my slide as well. So diabetes, uncontrolled diabetes, which we'll be talking about more later, has major complications, okay? There are some, if you know you have blood glucose or you are at risk of having blood glucose, it's important that you actually do something about it. And that's why this program is good, because you know what you're supposed to do about it and also speak to your doctor. However, if you do not control it, these are the things that could happen. There's what is called microvascular complication and macrovascular complication. And what this means, microvascular is the damage of small vessels, small blood vessels. And those small blood vessels, like the eyes, the kidney, and the nerves. For the eyes, it's called diabetic retinopathy. So basically, the blood vessels to the eyes are damaged because of that consistent high blood glucose. And that's why people that are diabetic or at risk of diabetes are encouraged to always do this diabetic eye check. It's different from your everyday normal eye check, but if you're at risk of diabetes, then you are always encouraged to go see your eye doctor for eye check. And then there's kidney as well, which is a diabetic nephropathy. Diabetes uncontrolled can block the kidney. Well, when I say block, it can damage the kidney. So that high blood pressure damages small vessels, and excess blood glucose overworks the kidney, because the kidney, our kidney is a filter for our body. What happens is that because there's that high blood glucose, the kidney is working over and over again, just trying to secrete that excess sugar from our bloodstream, and then it overworks and results in nephropathy. And then there's neuropathy as well, which is the nerves. Hyperglycemia also causes nerve damage, and this can result in pain and numbness, and then wounds. You can have some wounds now, they'll be undetected. You won't even know that you have a wound there, because the nerve tissues around there are dead. These can be caused by diabetes. And then again, we have the macrovascular complications of diabetes, the brain. And this is called cerebrovascular complication. And then that means there's an increased risk of stroke, and also TI, transient ischemic attack, which is more or less like a mini attack. And there's the risk of cognitive impairments when you have diabetes. And then we have another complication, cardiovascular. So there's a heart disease. You could develop heart disease if your diabetes is untreated and or diagnosed, okay? And then there is the PVD, which is the peripheral vascular disease. And this results from narrowing of the blood vessels, thereby reducing the flow of blood to the legs. That's why you see some people with diabetes, they always have leg wounds. Okay, that's because the vessels to the legs have been damaged, so there's no enough blood going down there. And because blood also carries oxygen, those wounds, they hardly heal. You know, people have these sores, this chronic sore that never heals. That's a complication of diabetes. So it's important that one thing that you can take away from everything we're going to do today is that let me know the complications or this knowledge that I'm gaining now. How can I use it not so that I don't have this diabetes, or if I have it, how can I manage it? Okay, so I'm going to move to the next slide now. And this is the types of diabetes. And my sister and colleague, Lillian, will be taking this slide.
Okay, hello. I'll be talking about the different types of diabetes. We're not going to go into, there are quite a few, but we're only narrowing it down to a few types of diabetes. So we'll be doing type 1, type 2, and the gestational diabetes. Okay, so in type 1 diabetes, I stated in my colleague that insulin is produced in response to high blood glucose levels. So for type 1 diabetes, it is triggered by, triggered by an autoimmune process whereby the body's immune system is attacked and destroyed by the beta cells in the pancreas. The beta cells are the cells that produce insulin. Therefore, type 1 diabetic, the body cannot produce any insulin at all. So it results in high levels of high blood glucose. Type 1 diabetes normally occurs in the younger population, but it can also occur in older population. It is irreversible and it is insulin controlled. And for type 2 diabetes, this is where the body stops producing enough insulin for its needs, or it becomes resistant to the effect of the insulin that's being produced. Type 2 is often linked to obesity, some being overweight or not being active. Or it's also linked to having a family history of type 2 diabetes. And it's also linked to older age as we age due to the decline of the beta cells. However, due to an increase in the obesity in the adolescents, it has led to also an increase in the type 2 diabetes in the younger population. Type 2 diabetes cannot be cured, but it can be put into remission, whereby the levels return to the pre-diabetic range. And it is normally controlled by diet, insulin, or medication. If we move on to my next slide, please, which is the risks, the risk factors of the type 2 diabetes. So these are some of the factors that I've listed some of them above, like the family history, having a high BMI, which is being obese, having an inactive lifestyle, high blood pressure. If you have high blood pressure, there is a risk of you having type 2 diabetes. High cholesterol levels, having a history of gestational diabetes would also make you a risk, the older you are as well, and having impaired glucose tolerance or impaired fasting glucose. Okay, we move on to, I think I'll pass you on to my colleague again.
Oh, okay, it's still me again. Because Lillian has just talked about the types of diabetes, gestational diabetes is another type of diabetes. And what happens here is that women that are pregnant, they tend to have high blood glucose for whatever reason. And like we've said earlier, that diabetes is caused when the body doesn't use insulin properly. But for women that are pregnant, because the placenta produces this hormone, if you can see the screen, the placenta produces this hormone called estrogen, cortisol, and human placenta lactogen. These hormones are very necessary for the growth of the baby and the development. However, they do interact with insulin. So even though the mother is eating normally and have the high blood glucose, there's no insulin to like take this glucose into cell for functioning. That means that this glucose will be in the bloodstream just there. That will cause high blood glucose. So basically, for some women after pregnancy, this gestational diabetes would disappear. It would just go. However, there's the risk of developing a type 2 diabetes if you do not take care of your gestational diabetes. Okay, I'll move to the next slide now, and that will be my sister, my colleague Latifa. Hello, Latifa. You're on mute. You're on mute.
Hi
Yes,
everyone, I'm
yeah.
talking about the normal and diabetic blood sugar ranges. So for the majority of healthy individuals, normal blood range is as follows. So between 4 to 5.4 millimole and up to 7.8 millimole 2 hours after eating. So the other one is when fasting. This is pre-diabetes. And for people who have diabetes and their blood sugar level range is between 4 to 7 millimole for people with type 1 or type 2 diabetes. And after meal is under 9 millimole for people with type 1 diabetes and under 8.5 millimole for people with type 2 diabetes. It is important to control your blood sugar levels, as too high sugar levels can increase the risk of diabetes complication, which my friend already mentioned. So it's kidney disease, nerve damage, retinal disease, heart disease, and stroke. And small improvements can make a big difference. So watch out for the complications. Next slide, please.
Yeah, Lillian, that will be you.
Yeah, that's me again. Okay, we're just going to go through some of the symptoms of undiagnosed or unmanaged diabetes. Okay, the first one is urinating frequently, more than usual, especially at night. And this is mainly because the blood glucose levels get higher, and the glucose spills into the urine. So the kidneys would reject the excess glucose, and the glucose drags with it, because it's been rejected, it drags with it a significant amount of water, thereby causing an increase in the urine production. The other symptom is excessive thirst, feeling very thirsty, and this is due to dehydration, as I explained earlier as well, because of the water that you'll be losing, so you'll be thirsty. The next one is weight loss, losing weight without trying to do so. So despite having the glucose in the body, the body cannot utilize it. So the body breaks it down. So the body would break down its fat and protein stores for alternative energy, which would cause dramatic weight loss. And then feeling tired more than usual, this is because the muscles are not getting enough glucose to function. Therefore, the person feels tired. Frequent hunger is another one. Genital itching or frequent episodes of thrush is another symptom. Wounds or cuts that heal slowly. Usually people with uncontrolled diabetes may develop poor circulation, and poor circulation makes it more difficult for the body to deliver nutrients to the wounds and cuts, resulting in wounds healing slowly or may not even heal at all. And finally, it's the blood vision. So we do advise you that visit your doctor regularly whenever you have any symptoms or you're concerned about any of the above symptoms, or if you're worried that you might be at a higher risk of developing type 2 diabetes. Okay. Next slide.
Next slide.
Back on to me. Okay, guys, here are some statistics that to show you the seriousness of the risks of diabetes. So there is 537 million adults aged 20 to 79 years old that are living with diabetes, which is about 240 million is undiagnosed, and 6.7 million deaths worldwide. So 3 in 4 adults with diabetes live in low or middle income households. China has the world's largest diabetes population. This is because of unhealthy diet and lack of physical activity. These are increasing the rates of overweight and obesity in China. So 1/3 of adults in China are overweight and 7% of them are obese. Also, type 2 diabetes accounts for 90% of diabetes cases in the UK. And also origin plays a role. So South Asian origins are 6 times more likely to have diabetes, so which includes Pakistanis, Indians, and people in Afghanistan. And African origins are 3 times likely to be more at risk of diabetes. Next slide, please. More statistics. So these countries are, as you can see, the total population and adults with diabetes and the percentages. So Pakistanis are, well, the highest in terms of percentage. So they got more diabetes. Ethnicity such as deprivation is strongly associated with higher levels of obesity. So physical inactivity, unhealthy diet leads them to be at risk of diabetes. Therefore, they have poorer diabetes management. It could either be a lack of knowledge or a lack of education. People who are poor, well, in poorer countries, they have limited access to health clinics, to hospitals and stuff like that. So people in Afghanistan, they have to travel far to get to health clinics. So they don't have access to health compared to UK. We are really lucky to be here to have all these clinics, hospitals, and access to GPs. But people in poorer countries, they don't have it. That's all I can say. We're here to raise awareness. Next page. Slide, please.
Okay, thank you, Latifa. I just quickly want to raise something up that somebody said on Facebook. He said, oh, thoughts otherwise about China. I think in terms of us saying that they have the world's largest population, and I'll just quickly add at this point that these figures, these statistics that we've shared, they were gotten from the International Diabetes Federation. So it's the body that is in charge of diabetes worldwide. So these are credible statistics, credible information. And talking about China having the largest diabetes population, you could argue because they are the most populous country in the world as well. So that's one of the reasons. And so the person said, thought otherwise about China. And when we talk about being overweight now, sometimes, because I remember some time ago, I was about 70 kg. And, I went to the doctor and just to check, and they said I was overweight. Because it's not just about whether you're big or not big. Sometimes it's about a BMI, which is your height, weight measurement, I think. So that's what they use. So somebody might look small, but clinically they might be classed as obese. So I just wanted to clear that out with with the comments, and thank you so much for sharing that. Yeah.
In regards to statistics, World Health Organization, they have a lot of statistics, so there's some information on there. So if you want to know more, they've got lots of information there. That's it.
Oh, that's very good. Thank you very much. And just to our people watching on Facebook or YouTube, if you come across this video later, there are lots of information on World Health Organization, like my sister Latifa has just said. So we always encourage people to do your own research. Don't take our word for it. Go out, do your own research so you can get first-hand information. Okay, thank you so much. So this slide, and somebody did write something on Facebook as well. He said, I used to think urinating more often is good for the body as it doesn't put a lot of pressure on the bladder. And I think that's when we talked about the symptoms. When Lilia was talking about the symptoms, can you please explain why this isn't the cause and why urinating more often, especially at night, is a concern? This is Lillian. Do you want to take that? And I'll talk more on it, please.
Why urinating at night is a concern?
Because she said she thought that urinating more often is good for the body as it doesn't put a lot of pressure on the bladder. Can you please explain why this isn't the case? Basically, why urinating often is a cause for concern, really.
Oh,
can you hear me? The internet.
I think so. I did phrase a bit. Why urinating is a concern at night? Sorry.
Yes. Or just frequent urination. Why it's a concern?
Because you should be resting. Your body should be resting. So obviously, if you're getting up in the night, it's
true. Can I just add? I agree with you. Can I just add that if we go back, I'm going to go back, ladies, please permit me to go back to the slide about complications of diabetes. Yeah. So you see this one that says kidney. Like I said earlier, our kidney is responsible for filtration. So the fact that you are urinating more often means that you have too much sugar
in your blood.
So the kidney, because our bodies have been made in a way that is so unique that when something, there's what's called compensatory. When something is happening, the body tries to compensate in a way. So one of the ways that our body compensates for that excess glucose in the bloodstream is trying to wee it out through the kidney. However, overworking the kidney is a problem because even though you are weeing, like Lillian said earlier, it's going to lead to dehydration as well. It's going to lead to a lot of stuff. So weeing too much is not, excessive urination is not a good thing. If you think you are struggling with that, please visit your doctor and ask them for more information. Thank you so much. And about some weed at night, like Lillian said as well, our bodies have been made to rest at night. Our bodies naturally should be resting at night. So when you're waking more than usual to wee at night, that is also a cause for concern. Please visit your doctor. I'll move on now. I don't know if you ladies want to add any other thing before we quickly go back to the other side.
I'll add a little bit. It's like I found out that when your kidneys can't keep up the excess glucose excreted into urine, so I guess you don't want that.
Yeah.
Sorry, I missed that. My internet froze.
I said when your kidneys can't keep up with it, the excess glucose excreted into urine, so dragging along fluids from your tissues, which makes you dehydrated. And the more you drink, the more you wee.
Indeed, indeed. Thank you so much. That's fantastic. And our dear sister, I'll call her name. She's a very dear sister to me, WhatsApp. She's just added, because she's a health professional as well, she's just added that I would think, firstly, frequent urinating at night is not a problem unless you have an undiagnosed health condition. Additionally, frequent urination could just be that you have a high glomerulus filtration rate, and glomerulus at this point is, in the kidney, is what is used for filtering urine. If I'm right, please correct me, ladies. Okay, so it's sometimes some people have high glomerular rates and some people have low. Like we talked about the diabetes, the blood glucose level now, there is a certain range that your body is supposed to have for whatever thing. If it's your blood pressure, your blood glucose, your glomerular filtration rate, so however, if your body now exceeds the normal range, that's where a problem is. So yeah, thank you very much. And we have lots of comments. Somebody said drinking plenty of water can also result in frequent urination. Is that a cause for concern? Fluid is good. Water is good for our body. However, if your diet is high in sugar, we'll talk about diets and diabetes as we go in terms of the management. If your diet is high in sugar and you think you might be at risk, go for a blood test. Go and speak to your doctor, because the only way that you can do the only way that you can know if you're diabetic is actually getting a blood test. Yes, you can use the deep, what's called urinalysis. You could check for your blood glucose. If the glucose is coming out through your wee, you could use that to see if you are hyperglycemic. But the best way to check if you're diabetic is through a blood test, and that's not something that we can just do at home. It's something that you have to visit your doctor to check. Okay, thank you so much. We'll move on now to the slide about the management of diabetes. So diabetes can be managed through different ways or by different ways. There's the medicine, there's the lifestyle, and there's the diet. And I'll quickly add at this point that for pre-diabetic stage, because there's a pre-diabetic stage, my internet is unstable, I hope people can hear me. There's a pre-diabetic stage of diabetes. And if you're at that stage, you're not advised to take medication. It's lifestyle and diet change, okay? It's only when you've tried to change it through the lifestyle change and it's not really working, then you will be advised to take medication. And then if it's full-blown diabetes, yes, you need your medication. You also need your lifestyle and your diet. So I'll hand over to my sister Latifa now to talk about diabetes and medicine.
Diabetes and medicine. So type 1 diabetes, the treatment for that is insulin. So I guess that's the only treatment. So there's long-acting insulin and fast-acting insulin. There's also rapid and intermediate. So long-acting insulins are such as Lantus, Levemir are taken once or twice daily. And fast-acting insulins such as Humalog and Novorapid are taken before the meal. And also they can be given through the pen, or also there is pumps as well, insulin pumps, which can be used as an alternative to injecting yourself, as you can see in the picture. So the first one is pen and the second one is the insulin pumps. There is also another option for type 1 diabetes. So islet cell transplant is available to people who experience low blood sugar levels for a long period of time. So they can have that as well. And for type 2 diabetes, metformin. Metformin is one of the most common tablet that is used to treat type 2 diabetes, to have their blood sugar levels at control. And also there are different types of tablets and different doses for different people on different age. However, you may need to use an insulin for a particular reason, like during pregnancy, if you have a severe illness, or after surgery. The insulin can be used as a short-term treatment to help quickly bring down your sugar levels. Please note, these medications are available to people who are diagnosed with diabetes, and obviously they require doctor's prescription. And also, we're just raising awareness. So people who are diabetic, they have training for using the insulin pen, and they have information on using the insulin pump. So if you want to find more information, there it is available on diabetes.co.uk. Thank you very much. Next slide.
Thank you. Thank you. This is for Lillian now.
Yeah, diabetes and lifestyle. So it is recommended that we make changes if we should make changes to our lifestyle, because any changes will assist in your health and also reduce any risks to long-term diabetic complications. Type 2 diabetes is linked to being obese and having an inactive lifestyle. So it is recommended that we do take up some physical activities to reduce the blood glucose levels. Carrying any extra weight, especially around the middle, means that fat can build up around your organs like liver and the pancreas, which will cause insulin resistance. Therefore, insulin cannot get through, because insulin will not be able to get through the fat. And also, it will mean that the insulin that's been produced by your body would not be able to work properly and would increase chances of having high blood sugar, blood glucose. The NHS website recommends that we should aim to take at least 2.5 hours of activities a week. So any loss in weight, if you're overweight, will make it easier for the body to lower the blood glucose level. And this will also improve your blood pressure and cholesterol. So any type of activity, swimming, anything, any movement will improve improve the insulin sensitivity. Any changes, other changes of in lifestyle will also include things like giving up smoking, because smoking is associated with a higher risk of developing type 2 diabetes. Lifestyle changes like reducing stress. Stress does affect us physically, mentally, and also emotionally. Although stress alone does not cause diabetes, there is a link between stress and the risk of type 2 diabetes. And if stressful situations persist, it will keep the blood glucose levels high and put you at a higher risk of diabetes complications. Another lifestyle change would include taking care of yourself, which getting educated, getting more health education, and also changes to your diet. But this is going to be explained in more detail by my colleague. Why? Hello?
Okay, thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, because my internet decides to be horrible today. I'm going to move to the next slides now. I will be talking about diabetes and diet. And what happens is that when you're diabetic, you don't really need to make massive changes to your diet. You can still eat your everyday food. However, make healthier choices. Some people, think that carbs are bad, like I always say, but you can eat carb, the healthier version of rice, of bread, and we're talking about your whole meal. According to Diabetes UK 2022, there is no specific diet for diabetes. There's no just one diet to say this is a diabetic diet. They do advise to have a varied, healthy diet. That's where the key is. How do you manage it? Have a varied, healthy diet, because no single food can give you all the essential nutrients that you want. And they also encourage portion size. Don't eat too much. And I was listening to, or rather watching a video this morning where a midwife was advising pregnant women of diet for gestational diabetes. And she said, have a portion of rice, wholemeal rice if you wanted, and have 2 portions of protein instead. So for every meal that you're having, reduce your carb, have more fruit, have more protein, okay? And the foods that you having, your fruit and your veg, because they are low in calories, they are full of vitamins, they have essential minerals that you need and your fiber. And they said try to reduce fruit juices and smoothies. And I thought, oh, that's me they're talking to, because I have smoothie almost every day. And there's sense to it, because when you blend your fruits, you're actually reducing the fiber content of it, if I can use that word. So they encourage you to eat fruits whole as it is. There you can have more fiber. Yes, they're not saying don't drink smoothie, but have more fresh fruits rather than smoothies, okay? Reduce the fruit juices, because most of them, they are sugar-filled juices. And then your starchy food. All our starchy food, they are high in carbs. And what does carb do? Increases your blood glucose. And remember, we're talking about increase in blood glucose, which is diabetes. So in this instance, they are advising to have what is called a low glycemic food. So there's high glycemic and there's low glycemic carbohydrates. And what does glycemic mean? It means food that would increase your blood glucose quickly. There's what is called a glycemic index, and that's calculating how fast food can raise your blood glucose, okay? So high glycemic food includes your white bread, it includes your pasta, your white rice, okay? These are going to increase your blood glucose quick and will demand more insulin production, okay? And we really don't want that much. So your low glycemic food includes your whole grain, your whole wheat, and these are good because they help to release energy slowly. So if you can do your own independent research, just research about high glycemic and low glycemic food, so you can know what you're supposed to eat. If you can look at my screen now, you can see this rice is a brown rice. Okay, this is an example of a healthy food that you can have even when you're diabetic. Okay, and then there's the protein as well. Our proteins should be your beans, your nuts, your healthy meats, because there's evidence. My internet is gone off now. I'll just carry on talking anyway. There's evidence that processed meats and red meats can cause cancer. There is evidence that links cancer and then cardiovascular issues to eating a lot of red meats and processed meats, okay? So you are advised to eat oily fish for your protein now, your oily fish, your mackerel, your salmon, your sardines, because these are all heart-friendly food, okay? And then your dairy product as well, your milk, your cheese, your yogurt. However, when you're having your yogurt, you should check for added sugar, because some yogurts, they are very sick, they are sugar-filled. And another point I will add is that when you're having smoothie, I always say this when I have my smoothie as well, be careful of how much fruit you are putting, because fruit have a lot of natural occurring sugars. I think that's one of the reasons why they're advising people to reduce the amount of smoothie that they're having, because you can unconsciously increase your sugar level from smoothie. Okay, going back to our dairy products now, check for your added sugar, and then you can sweeten it with berries. Berries, they've got low sugar content, okay? And then for your oils and your spread, we're talking about the butter, go for less saturated fats, because there is evidence that saturated fat can cause cardiovascular diseases. Olive oil, they're very healthy. Peanut butter, instead, like the video I was talking about earlier, the midwife, she advised that instead of having your toast with jam, have it with peanut butter, have it with almond nut butter. These are healthy alternative. And for every every carb you have, make sure there's a protein that accompanies it. And peanut butter is a oil, is also a protein, okay? And then And overall, just reduce your food that are high in fat, in salt, and in sugar. And like this picture can show now, we have fill the largest section with non-starchy vegetables, like your broccoli, your carrots, your salad greens. And then in this portion here, you have your protein, you have your salmon, your meat here, you have your cheese, you have your egg. And then this portion, you have your carbohydrates, your brown rice, your peas, your sweet corn. So this is just an example. So you can do more research. Just go on the internet, go to NHS diabetes and diet, and you can get more information on how you can manage your diabetes with diet. I'll go to the next slide now, which is a video that we will be sharing. And that video kind of sums up everything that we have been talking about. I'll stop sharing now and come back, because the last time I tried to share like that, I didn't get the video. So I've stopped sharing, and I'm going to share the video now because I have it open already. Where is it? Where is it? Just bear with me, please. Okay. Okay, I'll share sound, and I will share this one. Not this one. Okay, I'm just gonna share a video. Can you see the video? It's a YouTube video, which is just talking about.
There are two main types of diabetes.
Can you see the video? Just give me a thumbs up if you can see the video, if you can hear. Yeah. Can you see the YouTube video, please? Yes, thank you, thank you. Yes, so just listen.
Type 1 and type 2. They're different conditions, but they're both serious. There are two main types of diabetes. Type 1 and type 2. They're different conditions, but they're both serious. There are some other rarer types of diabetes too. What all types of diabetes have in common is that they cause people to have too much glucose in their blood. But we all need some glucose. It's what gives us our energy. We get glucose when our bodies break down the carbohydrates that we eat or drink, and that glucose is released into our blood. We also need a hormone called insulin. It's made by our pancreas, and it's insulin that allows the glucose in our blood to enter our cells and fuel our bodies. If you don't have diabetes, your pancreas senses when glucose has entered your bloodstream and releases the right amount of insulin so the glucose can get into your cells. But if you have diabetes, this system doesn't work. When you've got type 1 diabetes, you can't make any insulin at all. If you've got type 2 diabetes, it's a bit different. The insulin you make either can't work effectively or you can't produce enough of it. In both types of diabetes, because glucose can't get into your cells, it begins to build up in your blood. And too much glucose in your blood causes a lot of different problems. To begin with, it leads to diabetes symptoms like having to wee a lot, being incredibly thirsty and feeling very tired. You may also lose weight, get infections like thrush, or suffer from slow healing wounds. Over a long period of time, high glucose levels in your blood can seriously damage your heart, your eyes, your feet, and your kidneys. These are known as the complications of diabetes. But with the right treatment and care, people can live a healthy life. And there's much less risk that someone will experience these complications. If you've got diabetes, you can find lots of information and support about living with it using our website and helpline. As well as campaigning for everyone with diabetes to get the right care, Diabetes UK fund research into all types of diabetes so we can develop new treatments and one day find a cure.
Yeah.
You can find out more
That's
about
the
type 1
end.
and type 2 diabetes.
And I'll stop sharing now. Yeah, thank you so much. I'm going to share the slide again that we were sharing. So that's the video. That video was just to kind of sum up everything we have been talking about. I'll go to the next slide now. And I'll leave this over to Latifa. You're on mute.
It happens so many times. Okay, guys, find out more, please talk to your GP doctor, and there are lots of websites available for you to get some information. So the NHS website, which stands for National Health Services, Diabetes UK websites, there is diabetes.co.uk, diabetes.org.uk. So you can also research on International Diabetes Federation for statistics, and the World Health Organization has a lot of information on diabetes and statistics. And the National Institute for Health and Care Excellence, NICE guidelines, also has lots of articles and lots of information and recommendations for diabetes. There is also credible and updated diabetes articles available online. So you can research for yourself and gain some more information and expand on your knowledge. That's all from me. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Latifa. And that is the end of this presentation. I just want to say thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much to my lovely, lovely ladies, Lillian and Latifa. Lillian, do you want to say anything just to encourage people to be more aware about their health?
And visit the doctors if you have any issues or queries. See your doctor first.
Tell them to go to the park every day and do some miles.
Exercise, steps.
Because medicine only does a little bit of it, and more of it is about diet and basically lifestyle changes. And this is for type 2 diabetes, which accounts for more than type 1 diabetes. So there are more cases of type 2 diabetes than type 1, and it's all based on your lifestyle choices and your diet. So keep up with it. Be healthy.
Thank you very much. That's the point of this, isn't it? Be healthy. Because like Latifa mentioned, medicine alone doesn't, it doesn't work. Well, it works, but you can actually help yourself. And something about medicine that I was going to mention, that meant for me, which is the leading medication used for diabetes, it's also called a nephrotoxic drug. It's also nephrotoxic. Okay, so just relying on medication, that's why you see a lot of people who have diabetes also have kidney issues in later life, because the high blood glucose is not only damaging the kidney, but because that's where that medication that is meant to reduce the high blood glucose is being processed, it's still damaging the kidney as well. So, we need to try other areas like diet, losing weight, like Lillian said earlier, just adopt a healthier lifestyle and be aware. You need to know. Health education, health promotion, which is what we are doing, is to raise awareness, to let people know that you can actually play an active role in your health. You can actually take charge of your health. Yes, if you need medication, go for medication. Your doctor will be the best person to advise you if and when you need the medication. Otherwise, do what you need to do and stay healthy. I'm going to stop the live video now. And if you have any question, just leave it in the chat. I will get back to you later. Thank you so much, ladies, for joining us. I really do appreciate you on Facebook. Please help us share this video, and it's going to be available on our YouTube channel later. So please help us share. The point is to raise awareness, to let more people know about what diabetes is all about. And like we said, diabetes is a broad area. Somebody did want to talk about diabetes and sexuality. There are lots of areas that we can cover, but we can't cover everything in just this short space of time. So yeah, hopefully as time goes on, we can address other areas of diabetes, other areas of high blood pressure. For our next health education topic, we haven't fixed it yet, but we're planning something and we'll let you know when the next date is. Thank you so much for joining Facebook. I want to say I really do appreciate you. I'm going to I'll stop sharing this one. Stop share. so I can go on Facebook and actually
So
stop live.
I want to add a little bit more.
Okay, carry
So
on.
guys,
Okay, hold on, Facebook. Latifa wants to add something.
So guys, please look after your health. We've only given you the basic information, so the rest is in your hands. So just go and use the online resources. There's so many resources that you can use. Just simply Google it, basically. Like we've done most of it. So that's what we used as well, online resources. So, and if you're worried about your health, always go to your doctor and speak to somebody about it. It's really important. As we get older, we're more at risk of getting diabetes and also other health problems. So just speak about it to somebody, or if you're not sure, if you want to get some more information, just Google it. And that's it. Thank you all. That's it, mine.
Thank you. I'll stop sharing now. Bye, Facebook. We love ya. Bye.